I've been thinking about doing this video for a while, and it's about something that I'm very passionate about. It's the Criterion collection, and specifically my Criterion collection. So, in about 2019, Netflix had a few art house films available, and I watched some of them, and one of them being, you can see that, 8.5 by Federico Fellini. And this movie really inspired me to get some more art house films. And so for Christmas that year, maybe it was 2018, so for Christmas that year I got said film, 8.5. I also got another Fellini film, La Strada. And I know this isn't a Criterion edition film, but it's a Janus Films, part of a big box set. And I also got The Seventh Seal by Ingmar Bergman. And then I got these two Godard films, Breathless and Band of Outsiders. And I think that year I watched this one first, Breathless, and very foundational film. And they were so different from what I'd usually watched, and I loved them a lot, and so I decided to get some more Criterion films, and I think I got Seven Samurai. Can you see that year? I'm not sure exactly. That might have been my second wave of Criterion films that I got. But watching these movies are really what inspired me to get some more Criterion films. And so this is what I call the second wave of Criterion films that I got. This one especially, Bicycle Thieves. I've also heard it pronounced called The Bicycle Thief. But this is an Italian neo-realist film by Vittorio De Sica. And it's another very foundational art house film. And I got another, La Dolce Vita. Can you see that? Yeah, La Dolce Vita. And this is one of the Criterion films that are actually sold out right now. There's a lot more of those that I wish I had, and I'm looking for a good deal, but they're a little overpriced. Sold by individual sellers, on Amazon and eBay. So another one is The 400 Blows. This is my favorite Francois Truffaut film. And I'm not a really big fan of Truffaut, to be honest, but that one I like a lot. And another Bergman film. I'm very new at this whole thing. Wild Strawberries. And I've only seen this movie once, to be honest. I have a lot of Criterion films. You'll find that out. And some of them I haven't even seen yet because I watch so many movies. I try to watch one a day, but yeah. Wild Strawberries. And around that time I stumbled across the Criterion Channel's YouTube channel, and I saw the Closet Picks series that they have, and I watched Bill Hader's Closet Picks, and he picked out these 3 movies. He picked out another one as well, but I didn't pick that one up at the time. I do have it, but anyways. So this one, House. This is a Japanese film from the 70s, and if you could see this painting behind me, I painted that. Inspired by this movie and this character. Her name is Blanche. She's actually, in the cover, she's orange, but in the movie she's white, so that's why it's white up there. And this is a very surrealist film. I mean, it's not like a Louis Buñuel, although it's kind of is. But I like the special effects a lot in this movie. You know, back then they had to use all analog special effects, and I think those are really cool. Let's see. This one, Saulo, or the 120 Days of Sodom. This is an Italian film by the Italian director Pier Paolo Pasolini, and it's actually, the story goes that it was so offensive to Italy that the Catholic Church hired the mob to kill him, and he was ran down in a car, sort of like the first episode of The Sopranos. And I don't know if he was beaten to death or ran over or shot or whatever, but that's from him making this movie. And I have some of his other films, but this is based off of the Marquis de Sade's book, 120 Days of Sodom. And it's a very hypersexual film. There's a lot of nudity and different fetishes that it's a modern an adaptation of the 120 Days of Sodom set in fascist Italy, and so that's really interesting. I haven't read the 120 Days of Sodom, but but yeah, it's about this group of fascists who have like a little sex cult of imprisoned teenagers. In the movie, they look about 18 to 20 or so, but in the book, they're actually like 12 years old. So, but you can't do that in movies, even if it's a European film. Not that I have anything wrong with that. But yeah. So this other one he picked up, Bill Hader picked up, is called Green for Danger. And I think it was, he said it was recommended to him by Seth Meyers from SNL. And it's set in England during the World War II with all the bombings, the nightly bombings. And it's set in a hospital. And it's been a long time since I've seen this one, actually. The one I got is a from some library. It's directed by Sidney Galliot. Or Sidney Gial, I don't know how to pronounce his name. But so, at the time there was still this store called Movie Stop. And the one closest towards me had a Criterion section of the store that was just one little tier. If you remember, like Blockbuster, they would have tiers along the wall. But anyways, they had one little one for the Criterion collection. And so then I picked up these 4 movies. Sorry, the lighting's not great. Maybe that'll be better. These 4 movies. So the first one is Charlie Chaplin's film Limelight. And so this is the first Charlie Chaplin film I got. And back in the day that I was talking about, when Netflix had a lot of cool movies, they had they had a lot of Charlie Chaplin films from when he was the little tramp character. But this one, he's not that character. This one, he's some kind of performer. Says a former vaudeville star. And in the first act, a woman who lives in his apartment building tries to kill herself. And so Mr. Chaplin takes her in and looks after her and gets her back on her feet. And then they perform in, I think, a play or a musical together. It's another movie that's been a while since I've seen. Not my favorite Charlie Chaplin film, but the first one I got. So this one, another Truffaut film. It's hard to pick up. Maybe, no. Well, it's called The Soft Skin. And he made this one after Jules and Jim. And you know, I'm really not a big Truffaut fan. I don't have a lot to say about this movie. But anyways, moving on. So this is called The Last Days of Disco. Does that pick up okay? Maybe I can fix it in post. Yeah, maybe that helps. Anyways, this one's called The Last Days of Disco, directed by Whit Stillman. And Chloe Sevigny is in it, and it's about the nightclub scene in the 90s in New York. And it's a little out of my element. It's a lot of yuppies, partying, nightclubs, coke and stuff, and I don't know. I just thought it looked cool when I bought it, but I don't really like it that much. Maybe I'll give him another shot. I recorded another movie of his that's also in the Criterion collection with the same kind of cover art. Sorry, you probably want to see the cover art, don't you? Of some of these movies. Sorry folks, I'm very new to this whole thing. So the last one I picked up that day was Fellini Satyricon. And I got the DVD. I wish I got the Blu-ray, but anyways. So this one comes with a neat little poster. And this is when Fellini started getting indulgent right? If you remember in Annie Hall, when Alvy Singer and Annie are waiting to see the sorrow and the pity, and there's the man standing behind them criticizing Fellini, and he starts talking about how Juliet of the Spirits and Satyricon, and I think he was talking about the movie Roma in that scene.
All that Juliet of the Spirits or Satyricon, I found it incredibly indulgent. You know, he really is. He's one of the most indulgent filmmakers. He really is.
Keyword here
and
is
without
indulgent.
And, you know how that scene plays out, I'm assuming. But anyways, this is a really cool movie. I mean, I know some movie buffs who watched the movie Caligula. And Caligula is a cool little movie, but it's this is a little more classy. It's the main theme is hedonism. It follows two pansexual Roman boys through the reign of Nero. Sorry, I was trying to think of which emperor this was set during, and it was set during the Nero reign. And this is a long one. Actually, it's only 2 hours and 10 minutes. Sorry, it's been a while since I've seen this movie as well, but it's a film in color, and I think this was the first Fellini film that I saw that was in color, and it's very gripping. Right out of the gate, it starts with a man who's very angry and having this very dramatic display, taunting his ex-lover. But so yeah, if you can see this, not sure how well this will pick up. So this is the first and second wave, I like to call it, of my Criterion Collection adventure. And these movies really set me off on my cinematic journey and my wanting to be a filmmaker. So I knew, because I have so many Criterion films, that it wouldn't make sense to make one long video, so I'm going to break this up into parts. This first one being the movies that got me into the Criterion Collection, and then I'm going to go by country. So stick around and watch those.